Tonight on KGW News, a security guard shot at a Portland hotel. What we're learning about the 22-year-old victim.
Plus, caught in the middle of destructive protests, impassioned pleas get the city to restore a historic statue to downtown.
Bring a sense of hope and healing to its citizens.
And later, an offer with love. Why Oregon homebuyers now have another tool to seal the deal.
Then, the newest addition to the Portland Fire Bureau, using his snout to sniff out trouble. Your news starts now. Good evening, I'm Laurel Porter.
And I'm David Mulco, and we begin at 11 with a growing problem for a Northeast Portland nonprofit, a place where mothers typically go to seek help.
But now their staff, instead of focusing solely on support, has to contend with needles, garbage, even human waste. It's all from a growing problem with trespassers that's reached new heights. A warning tonight, some of the video might be hard to watch. Catherine Cook has the story.
So yeah, this is where we serve everybody right here on the front porch right now.
These precious little raincoats, free. So is everything else at the Mother and Child Education Center in the Hollywood district.
Anything from clothing or diapers or wipes or whatever they might need. Then we package up based on what they need so we can make sure they have stuff.
Executive Director Maura White says right now families with young children are struggling on so many levels.
Some people, they just need one little boost. Maybe they just need diapers, and that's going to get them to the next day, and that's the help they need, and we do that. Other people need more connections with housing and all kinds of stuff. So we're just here to help.
Which is why Maura and her staff are so hurt by what happened this week, part of an ongoing problem.
When we came to work on Monday, we came here and literally somebody had decided to go to the bathroom all over everything.
And she means everything.
This entire area was like full of diarrhea. They shoved it in here. It was inside the lock, all over it, as if they put their bottom against the wall and pooped down the wall. Huge piles of it there.
They had to cancel appointments with mothers so they could clean the mess. Days later, more problems. Someone ripped out their Ring camera and broke a porch light. And another man caused a big disturbance.
We had to actually, the street response team came to respond. They are an excellent resource. They came and responded. He was having a mental health crisis, but he wouldn't leave. He was blocking the area. He wouldn't leave for like almost 4 hours. And so they came out, removed him, got him safely somewhere. Well, he came back. So he was back and he was here causing trouble with other people who slept on the porch the next night.
Conditions have become so unpredictable that mother and child must worry about safety for their guests. For example, the front door used to remain unlocked, but now visitors must knock first to be let in.
We've had moms come up when someone's coming up with a mental health crisis. When I have young staff coming to work, having to crawl over people that are on the thing, that there's alcohol everywhere, there's needles outside, it's not safe for my staff to come.
Maura says police run extra patrols in the area and have even trained them to de-escalate less dangerous situations. But beyond that, Maura says the most frustrating part of all is, right now, this is a problem without a solution. So she's asking for anything that can be done.
People can help support us. They can get us formula for kids. They can just, when they're walking by your property, they can just say, hey, is there anyone on that porch? And make sure that no one's trying to damage it when they go to Trader Joe's. Just like look out for us, just like you look out for your neighbors.
A request for help so they can keep helping others.
Everybody who comes in always will get books. This is like a real favorite of ours.
In Northeast Portland, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Wow, you really feel for them there. An update tonight on a shooting outside a Portland hotel. We have just learned the victim was on duty working as a security guard when he was gunned down. Police have identified him as 22-year-old Sir Charles Mark Anthony Jones. Jones was found dead in a car near the residence inn at River Place last Friday. Investigators confirmed his death was a homicide. No word yet on any suspects.
Oh, that's devastating. That's so crazy. I couldn't even imagine my kids, I wouldn't want to go. I wouldn't want them to go before me. Not at all.
A community mourns the death of 13-year-old Milana Lee. Her body was found in a park in Beaverton earlier this week. Today, a memorial for Lee continued to grow. A lot of people who live in the area say they're very shaken up and say it's hard to feel safe knowing a teenager was murdered so close to where they live. An autopsy of Lee's body was done Wednesday afternoon, and afterward, Beaverton police ruled her death a homicide. Investigators aren't saying much about the case, only that they followed up on several leads.
It's really unusual, really unusual. I think people are probably, pretty shaken by that. maybe a lot of second thoughts, about whether you let your kids, walk out on the trails by themselves.
Milana's body was found in a small stream inside the park Tuesday. She was last seen at her apartment in the Murray Hill area on Sunday. Her apartment is within walking distance, just about a mile away. Beaverton police say if anyone has any information, they should contact them.
Well, new tonight, a Portland family is one step closer to justice after police arrested a man they say attacked a teenager so viciously he later died from his injuries.
Alma McCarty has the message from the victim's mother, aunt, and sister. Alma.
Laurel, the family was relieved to get the news that the suspect had been arrested in this case. They're hoping he stays in jail and doesn't have a chance to hurt anyone else. 19-year-old Clyde Hunt was attacked in early April. He spent about 3 weeks in the hospital fighting to survive, but the injuries to his head were too severe and he later died. His family is devastated that he didn't get to grow up and have children of his own, but they're clinging to the good memories.
He always stuck up for his brother and his sister that have special needs. Very outgoing. When he was giggling, everybody started giggling. It was just one of those type of kids that got everybody, made everybody smile. See, she's smiling already.
Now, Hunt was found in the parking lot of the Evergreen Inn on Northeast 82nd Avenue. His family admits he got into trouble occasionally, but they don't know what would have led up to the attack. Yesterday, police arrested 25-year-old Jakari Walker for the murder. Court documents say the suspect used a weapon to beat Hunt and that the attack was unprovoked. Walker remains in jail tonight.
Thank you, Alma. Well, let's get to an update now on our latest COVID numbers. Oregon's been averaging more than 1,200 new cases a day for the past week. For some perspective, back at the end of March, that number was just 229 a day. In Multnomah County alone, the seven-day case average, is at 339 a day. Let's zoom out statewide. Oregon has 226 COVID patients in hospital. 1 month ago, that number was 84.
And today, from public buildings in Oregon to the White House, flags were lowered to half staff to mourn a grim toll, the 1 million Americans who've now died from COVID. The flags will remain lowered until sunset Monday. The toll includes 7,500 Oregonians. Governor Kate Brown made the order this morning following President Biden's proclamation to honor the lives lost.
Well, a historic and much beloved statue that's been missing from downtown Portland for nearly 2 years is finally set to make its return, antlers and all. So tonight on The Story, Pat Doris looked at the fate of the elk.
This week, city commissioners adopted a resolution to restore both the statue and the reproduction of the original fountain base, along with improvements to the right-of-way to get around it. The elk statue caught in the middle of racial justice protests that we saw in downtown Portland for much of 2020. Some people used graffiti on the elk. They set fires in the fountain, and some turned it into a memorial for people killed by police. Eventually, city workers removed it, saying it had become a safety hazard. The fountain was dismantled. The elk statue's been in storage ever since. For the last year, city leaders have wrestled with what to do about the elk. A lot of you have told us and told them you want it to come back. The elk's been there for more than 100 years, but recently it's become a symbol of downtown's recovery. And people got pretty emotional about it when they went to city council. Here's some of the things they had to say.
It's not only feasible to restore the fountain, but imperative that the city restore it as a clear message of its commitment to revitalizing the downtown and bring a sense of hope and healing to its citizens.
Restoring the historic icon, the beautiful bronze elk and its storied granite fountain base, and having it adorn the original 1900 site has become a metaphor for advancing downtown's recovery after 2 tempestuous years and a pandemic. Beauty is a necessity in our lives, and this monument is uplifting. Full recovery will come one step at a time, and this is a monumental stride in the right direction.
In the end, they approved the return of the elk, but did not set a timeline for when that work will be done.
Beauty is a necessity in our lives. I love that. By the way, Pat and team started looking into the elk when viewers emailed to ask what was happening. So if you've got an idea or a question, you can email the team at thestory@kgw.com.
Tonight, the man who was part of the famous Ruby Ridge standoff with the FBI back in 1992 has died. Randy Weaver passed away at the age of 74. He was known for being the patriarch of a family involved in an 11-day Idaho standoff with federal agents 30 years ago. The standoff left 3 people dead, including Weaver's wife, Vicki, and helped spark the growth of anti-government extremists.